Hello and welcome to this new appointment on an introduction to Commedia dell'arte theory, where we look at the historical background of each mask. Today, in this session, we're going to look at Pulcinella. Pulcinella belongs to the big family and colorful and varied family of the servants of Commedia dell'arte. So effectively is a Zanni. Pulcinella, unlike the other Zanni that we saw so far, comes from the south. So far we saw Zanni, Arlecchino and Brighella, all masks, so characters that come from the northeast region of Italy, the Po Valley, the peasants from the Po Valley that moved to the big city Venice to try to make a living, to survive. In this case, we move south. We move to Naples, another big center, big and powerful city. Pulcinella, like any other Zanni, has one priority: survival. Find a way to live. That means find a way to fill his belly. And the belly of many other little Pulcinella often is married with kids, and quite a few of them. So he has extra demands. What is particularly fascinating about this character is a certain level of cunningness. This character, a bit like we saw in Arlecchino, I wouldn't say it's like his Arlecchino of the South, they're completely two different characters, but like the Arlecchino, there is a certain level of mischievousness, a certain level, I would say, even of cunningness in this character. In fact, where for the Zanni that we saw in the first session, I'm mentioning as in terms of specific quality that the mask represents, I would say is naivety. For this character, I would say it is cunningness and a bit of cheekiness as well. Pulcinella has this incredible ability to survive in any condition, any situation, and to find a way to get back something for his own advantage. So there is this way, Fava is a great Italian practitioner and specialist, a great Pulcinella, and he described Pulcinella as the greatest of the survivalist. I don't know if it's a word. So find always a way to survive. We have a saying in Italy that is l'arte di arrangiarsi, which in a way is like the art of the art of surviving, the art of, that would be the best translation. What else distinguishes this character? But of course, the sonorities and the musicality of this character is difficult in translation in English, but in Italy, each mask has a specific dialect or a specific accent, regional accent. So when we talk about Arlecchino or Brighella, we're talking Bergamo, so the north. When we talk, for instance, of characters that come from the Po Valley, we talk about Veneto accent. For Pantalone, one of the master would be Venice. For Pulcinella is Neapolitan. And with that comes an all other quality that affect the movement, the physicality of the mask, and of course, obviously, the language of the mask. And with that, there is the incredible musicality that Neapolitan has, dialect Neapolitan. In more than one occasion, in fact, Pulcinella is represented with a music instrument. What distinguishes this Pulcinella is actually the ability of not working. So, in a sense, amongst the various distinct features of this Zanni, is this ability to find a way to avoid the work. The mask is a black mask. As you can see, the mask is often dark, like all the servants of Commedia, and extremely grotesque. There's also another interesting features, the big cheeks and the nose. It's almost like this hooked nose. Well, in terms of animals, often Pulcinella is associated with chicks, with chicken. That is a sort of animalistic features that we find in the mask. In fact, his movement are often really fast, scatty little steps with his pointed feet, like the Zanni. Another physical quality of Pulcinella is as an hunchback. Obviously, often Pulcinella is represented with a hunched back. That might be related with the extreme condition of poverty, maybe malnutrition in the character. But again, this is not comic itself, but Commedia dell'arte is comedy. What Commedia dell'arte does, as I said many times, I want you to remember that is turning upside down the reality of that time, the reality of that world, through elements, through the grotesque, through the absurd. So there is this turning of the upside down of the reality and the happy ending. That what makes the tragic story of the Zanni, of the servants of Commedia dell'arte, comic. Is not at all making fun of these characters. On the contrary, is showing to the audience the absurdity of the mechanism of power, of the power dynamic of the classic system, to show the faults, the violence, the abuse of power, to show that and turn it upside down. Pulcinella is, as I said, the survival, and therefore he will have things his own way. Often the mask, like the mask of Arlecchino, the mask of Pulcinella might have a little bump on his forehead. Would that be indication of some devilish quality, like a little devilish horn, like we said, the potential for Arlecchino, or would that more likely perhaps indicate some skin diseases, again related with the humble origin of the mask? That is up to you, up to us to take it as an interpretation, to approach the character, to approach the mask and work with it.